Good morning, Cub Rangers. Could you raise your hand if you can hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Let me take down. Hi, Cub Rangers. How are you this morning? Who just woke up? Did you guys just wake up? Or have you been awake for a little bit now? I have. Well, I hope you all had a nice breakfast, maybe some cereal or toast, something like that. Well, good morning again. My name is Michelle, and I work for California State Park in the Oceano Dunes District. And if you can't tell, can you tell what's behind me? I'm on the beach this morning with you guys. So maybe you guys are nice and warm inside your homes. It's a little chilly out here. Can you tell the gray skies? A little cloud. It was misty a second ago. Now it's not so much. But I'm out here on the beach at Pismo State Beach. Could you raise your hand if you've been to Pismo State Beach before? Has anyone been here? Oh, wow, I see some hands going up. That is really cool. Maybe you haven't been to Pismo State Beach, but have you been to a beach in California before? Raise your hand if you've been to a beach before. It's so much fun, right? Great. Okay, so before I start our program, do you guys know what our program's about? It's about pelicans. Before we start learning about pelicans, because we just woke up, do you want to stretch with me? So maybe we can stand up if you're able to, or you can stay seated and just sort of move your hands. We're just going to reach up. You'll reach up like this. And we're just going to bend to one side for a second. And come back up to the middle. And bend over the other side. And come back up. You reach up even higher. Not feel great? Okay, well, if you stood up, you can sit down again. I'm going to introduce you to one of my friends, and he's going to help me teach today. Are you ready to see my friends? His name is Pete. He got a little sandy, so I need to brush him off. Here's my friend Pete. Do you know what Pete is? What kind of animal Pete is? What kind of bird Pete is? I'll give you a hint. It's what we're learning about today. He is a pelican, and he's a certain kind of pelican. So let me put up, well, first of all, there are a few types of pelicans, a bunch of different types of pelicans in the world. Two are in North America, part of the United States where we live. And you can see both of them here in California. And precisely, you can see where I'm standing. I can see both here at some times of the year. So I'm going to show you the two different types of pelicans that we can see in California. Are you ready? I have to pull up a photo. Perfect. So here are the two different types of pelicans we can see in California. So the top photo is our California brown pelican, which is what Pete is. On the bottom photo is the American white pelican. Now these are massive birds. So if we can all maybe picture a bird we've seen in our backyard before, maybe a little blackbird or a sparrow or a finch. Let's think of maybe something larger now, like have we all seen a pelican before? Those are larger than a blackbird. But can we think of like even bigger birds now? So our California brown pelican, do you see his wings spread out like that? His wingspan, as we call a wingspan, where they're all stretched out, his wingspan is about 7 feet, maybe up to 7 feet. Now, something that might be 7 feet is like maybe an adult we know of. Add a couple more feet to that adult, and that's the wingspan of that California brown. Now, the American white is even bigger. So these are massive birds. They're really, really big. So we can see that white pelican during the winter time, but the brown pelican we can see all year round. Okay, I've even seen like maybe 100 already this morning. So in a bit, maybe I can walk closer to the shoreline and see if we can spot one. So this photo here, here's another photo of a California brown pelican, what my teacher helper Pete is. Here's another photo. Let's just look at it. They're sort of silly looking, right? Do you think they're a little silly looking? Raise your hand if you think they look silly. I think they do. Great. Great. Can I have all hands down now? Oh, and if you didn't know, if this is your first time using the Zoom program for one of our Junior Ranger programs, there's a raise your hand button you can use at the bottom. So if I can have all hands down, I just want to ask one more time, all hands down. Raise your hand if I'm still coming in clear with my voice. Can you still hear me okay? I just want to make sure. Perfect. Okay, good. So here's our brown pelican. Stop sharing. Here's Pete back up there. Pete's loving this. It's all about him today. So the pelicans I've been seeing have been flying over the water right there. So maybe as I'm teaching you guys, you might be able to see some birds. There's lots of different types of birds flying around. It's a really big one that can be our. Okay, so, oh, I also failed to mention that we're gonna read a book. It's not about pelicans, but it's a funny book about the beach. So we're gonna learn a few really cool, fun facts about our California brown pelican, and then I'm gonna read a book. It's gonna be great. So let me pull up some photos so you can see different features of our brown pelican. Let me choose my favorite one. I just lost them. 1 second. Okay, we're gonna learn about their feet. And we're going to learn about how they find food and catch their food. Okay, so they have really silly feet. So they have webbed feet, but they have 4 toes. So a lot of the time, birds that have webbed feet only have 3 toes, like there. And they can walk a little bit easier. But our pelicans, they have 4 toes. So there's an extra one right there. And that makes them great swimmers, but pretty clumsy walkers. Can you imagine? I wish I had a video of one walking. But if you can imagine, those huge feet, they sort of stumble around a little bit. And these feet are, it's a big fancy word written right there, palmate feet. They have 4 toes and they have webbed feet. Okay. When you think pelican, for me, the first thing I think about is their pouch that they have. Do you guys see that pouch? Called a gular sac, actually. Sort of a funny word, right? So here's their pouch. Now, you might have thought that they store water in their pouch. They actually don't. They use it sort of like a fishing net when they're trying to catch a fish. But they don't store water in it. However, it does hold a lot of water. It holds 3 gallons. So if you can picture a gallon of milk that we might have in our fridge, holds 3 of those. So it holds a lot. And it helps them while they're fishing. And we're gonna learn how they do that. Okay, remember how I talked about how big they are? Their wingspan that we just learned that word a little bit ago, up to 7 feet. They're just pretty big birds. They're really, really big. Okay, so California brown pelicans are one of a few that lunge dive. And that means that they dive from the sky down into the ocean water to catch their food. Now, they typically dive between 10 to 30 feet in the air, but sometimes they can dive upwards of 100 feet in the air, which is sort of hard to picture. The 30 feet that they typically dive from is about the length of a long school bus. So if we can picture a school bus in our mind, and if we can tip it up on end, that's the distance that they lunge dive into the water for their food. So they fly over the water and they spot a fish, and that's when they decide to dive down. Now this one, you can see his head's sort of already in the water. I wish I had a video, but this is just a picture of one plunge diving. So its head is in the water. Let's see what other photos I have. So these pelicans are about to dive. Can you tell they're about to dive down? Now, who has ever jumped into a pool and maybe accidentally done a belly flop? Has anyone ever done that? I have. I was going off a high diving board, and that's pretty high, and I wasn't being careful, and I did a belly flop, and it really, really hurt. So do you guys think that when these pelicans dive from such a high distance up in the air, do you think it might hurt them? So when we hit the water, it can sort of burn, right? It stings if you do a belly flop. Ouch. Well, our pelicans are equipped to not get hurt when they dive into the water at such great heights and speed. So can we see how their wings in this picture, let me get my pen marker out. Their wings are making a W right here, right? Do you see that? So when they do that, that helps protect their wings, because if their wings were just spread out like that and they hit the water, it would hurt them way more. So they make that W shape, and that helps their wings to not break when they hit the water. Okay, and they also, something else that's really, really cool about them, they have built-in air sacs that inflate right before they hit the water, and they act as sort of like a life vest. Who has worn a life vest? Hopefully everyone has. When we're out in the water, maybe in a pool, or if we're kayaking or canoeing or just sort of swimming in the water, we should be wearing a life vest, right, for safety. So if we can picture ourselves wearing a life vest, that's sort of like what our pelicans have with these built-in air sacs that they inflate, and that cushions them as they hit the water. That's pretty cool, right? Did you guys know that? I love that about pelicans. Okay, so here's our Mr. Pete again. Now we know a lot more about pelicans, right? We have the gular sac right here. What else did we learn? Oh, I didn't say that when they spend a lot of time out in the ocean, they don't have access to fresh water. Like we can just sort of go in our kitchen and get some fresh water. They are actually adapted to drinking the salt water. Now, if we were to drink salt water, it would taste pretty bad and we would get sick. But our pelicans can drink it, and that's because they have special glands on either side of their bills, right about there, underneath their eyes, and these glands filter the water, and they release all the salt from the water. So when they drink some salt water, their glands get rid of the salt, so it's like they're drinking fresh water, and then the salt sort of just like drips off the bill. Interesting, right? Okay, so you guys ready for a book? I'm gonna read the book, and then if we have some time, you guys can join me. I'm just gonna move our camera out that way to see if we can spot it. Okay. So the book I have to read right now, again, it's not about pelicans, but it's pretty funny. It is called "If You Ever Want to Bring a Piano to the Beach, Don't." Okay, and this is by Elise Parsley. You guys ready? Don't worry, I'll show you the pictures after I read the pages. Okay, If your mom says to get ready to play at the beach, she means the boat or a frisbee or a shovel. She is not talking about the piano. What do you guys think is going to happen? If you roll out the piano anyway, she'll tell you, you better not lose it. You'll tell her that it's okay. You will hold on tight to your piano and keep it neat and clean, and you'll even promise to push it to the beach yourself. Cross your heart. But on the way, your arms will get heavy. Pianos are heavy, right? That'd be hard to push. Then your legs will get draggy. So you'll find the perfect way to move the piano along. Uh-oh. When you feel rested, you will push again. Would you guys get tired if you're trying to push a piano to the beach? I know I would. Once you're at the beach, you'll need to make sure the piano still works. Finally, you'll stop for a lunch break. The seagulls will want to share your egg and cheese sandwich. What are the seagulls gonna do? Can you guys predict what the seagulls might do? Who has seen a seagull? I've had a picnic on the beach. The seagull sort of wanted my food. Uh-oh. They're trying to get her food, her lunch. This, you know, is not good for the piano, but you'll know just what to do. Bath time. The piano got a little dirty. You'll splish and you'll splash. The piano will bob up and down, then up and away. What's happening to the piano? I think it's getting washed away. Up and away and out of reach. It's floating away. By now, of course, you'll wish you had played with a boat or a frisbee or a shovel at the beach instead of the piano. By now, you'll wish you had played with your baby sister instead of the piano. You'll be mad. You'll want to just go home. Well, here's what I would do if I were you. Borrow your brother's fishing line and cast it far, far out to catch your drifting piano. Do you guys think that's gonna work? Then, when you reel the line in, you might get your piano back, or you might get a boat or a frisbee or a shovel. looks like she caught a shell and she's using it for other things. Yeah, if you ever want to bring a piano to the beach, don't. You might lose it. But you never know what you might find. It's a little windy. Oh my goodness. So, moral of the story, don't bring a piano to the beach. But what are some things that we might want to bring to the beach? Maybe some sunscreen, snack, something to play in the sand. Those things, towel. Okay, are you guys ready to maybe look for, we have a couple minutes. I'm gonna move closer to the shoreline. Now, this is a live program. I'm out on the beach. So did you guys see some people walking? So as we get a little bit closer, you might see some people. Might get a little loud with the waves. So I'll try to talk louder. And we're gonna see if we can spot some pelicans, okay? So I am going to, should I bring Pete with me? I'll take Pete with me. He wants to go. Okay, let's see. There's my truck. Okay, you guys ready? Raise your hand if you're ready to walk closer to the water. I see some pelicans. Now, we're still pretty far away. But if you guys can see those birds flying, those are pelicans, but we're still pretty far away. And we know what type they are. Like we just learned, they're California brown pelicans. Okay. Let's see if we can spot any more. It's also sort of fun just watching the waves, right? There's one flying way back there. How fun is this? You can see some flying right there. You see they're flying all in a line. Raise your hand if you can see that. I know it's sort of hard. But those are pelicans. They fly together. They always seem to line up. Sometimes they make a V shape when they fly as well. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna walk back. Now you guys see the sand, right? And my truck. Now our program is almost over. I'm so glad you joined me. We'll switch this back. Pete wants to say hi again. We'll put our camera back on the stand. Okay, great. That was a fun walk, right? Okay, everyone say bye to Pete. Pete says bye. Okay, guys, I'm gonna share a couple photos. And if you have a parent or a guardian with you right now, go put out some information. Okay, So this web address right here, maybe take a screenshot or take a picture with your phone. This is for our Padlet. Now, if you guys have more questions about pelicans that I didn't talk about, or maybe something you just thought of, you can go to this web address. Again, parents and guardians can take a picture of this. And this is where you can ask us questions, okay? So this next picture is what this Padlet website looks like. And let me show you right here where I have this other arrow. If you click that pink circle with the check, the plus mark in the center, that's how you can add a new question, okay? So that's pretty cool. If you have any questions about pelicans, let me know. I can answer them. And there's a few more of these Cub and Junior Ranger programs for this summer, and you can register for them, as you know, because you're registered for this one at www.port-pa.us. And register for more programs, so you'll be able to earn a digital badge for each program you attend. So just like this one you watched, you earned a badge for attending it. After attending a certain number of programs, you can be get different prizes. Okay, so 4 digital badges, you get a metal Junior Ranger badge. 8, you get a certificate of completion, and 10 digital badges, you'll get an official state park Junior Ranger patch. Pretty cool, right? Okay, my Cub Rangers. Again, my name is Michelle from the Oceano Dunes District, and I had a blast this morning. Who had fun? Who learned something new about pelicans? Oh my goodness, they're one of my favorite birds, so maybe now they're one of your favorite birds, okay? So make sure you tell your friends and family everything you learned about pelicans. Guess what happens when we learn about an animal that maybe we didn't know much about, or we didn't know anything about? When we learn more about animals, it helps us to respect them more, and that helps us to just sort of take care of them better, okay? So that means teaching others about our animals, and remembering to sort of keep a safe distance from them. Sometimes we can see pelicans on like piers or something like that, maybe Pismo Pier or Apple Pier. So always remaining a safe distance from them, so we respect them and give them room. And as new Cub Rangers, that's a good sort of tool for you guys and something you can teach others about, right? Yeah, okay, so again, thank you so much for spending your mornings with me, and I hope the rest of your day is great and lovely. Maybe we'll get some sun today, have this gray burn off. So have a great rest of your summer, Cub Rangers, and I'll see you next time.